It's the Jewish New Year, 5781. America loses a great American in Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the countdown is on to the election. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, September the 20th. Excuse me. It looks like we're about 44 days away or 43 days away from the election, and nothing looks to be solved as of this moment. Of course, Americans have lost a great Supreme Court justice in Ruth Bader Ginsburg. No matter what your political views are, she devoted her life, and especially the last 27 years, to the Supreme Court. So again, we have to send out our condolences, and we can grieve for her as we are now on the search for a new justice. And of course, it is the Jewish New Year. Happy New Year to those who celebrate year 5781. May it be sweeter and better than last. And of course, as we look into what's happening in the world here, it is not a lot of changes. We continue to have the same issues. It's a continuation of a battle of, I guess, the overwhelming the radical left and the far left to the right, and unfortunately, the entire process that our Constitution was written on has gotten so far away from the mean that everything is designed and goes right down political lines. It is a tragedy. It's an American tragedy that we are no longer Americans. We are simply decided by which side of the aisle we would like to vote for or reside on. And that is not the America that I grew up in, but it's certainly turning into that over the last few years. And it doesn't show signs of getting any better. It shows signs of getting a heck of a lot worse. And it doesn't help that we've got the Federal Reserve willing to continue to pump in cash like it was free, and that nobody's going to have to ever pay for it. And we all know who's going to get to pay these bills. And it won't be me, because I won't be here when the bill comes due. But unfortunately, my children, your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they will be here. And at the current pace, the picture is not pretty. The overwhelming evidence of what's happening here is unbelievably bad. And that goes starting with the AOCs of the world, who wants to radicalize and fight following Ginsburg's death. And again, this is not the answer to what is wrong with America. And this is part of the process that is starting to fail, and fail miserably. The whole, as I said, when everything depends on what side of the aisle you are, when your own potential friends that were friends disown you, or say that maybe we can't be friends anymore because of which side of the aisle you sit on, that's a tragedy. And that's, I think, this will go down in history as a great American tragedy as to what has been the decline in the system that is supposed to create and keep us in together and growing together. That is obviously no longer the case, as witnessed by Pelosi not willing to take any money and any deal so that she can get her $3 trillion to give back to the crappy states like Illinois, which is where I reside. I can't wait to get out, but where I reside, of places that have no idea how to spend their money. They know how to tax, they know how to steal, they know how to relieve us of our money, but they have yet to figure out how to properly use it within their own states. So they continue to burn through money, basing the fact that they will be always bailed out by the federal government. And to me, that is another ridiculous joke of a system that will continue to bail out these thieves that continue to run their states into the ground. And that goes for New York, Illinois, California, off the top of my head. But of course, that has been the new mantra of the left, is to continue to just bail out. So they basically are going to create their own system and make us all prisoners to the government instead of the government helping. This is the problem with the federal government in general, that they've allowed it to grow to this massive size and massive power, because this was not the intention of the original Constitution. The intent was to have the federal government oversee the states and let them make their decisions. But of course, we can see that that is not the case. And again, as I say to you today, with about 43 or 44 days to go, that is a tragedy. And if you want to have another, if you want to continue on this path, hey, that's up to you. You know my views. You vote and get off your ass and go vote for somebody. Whether you vote for Biden or you vote for Trump, obviously I will be voting for Donald Trump. I believe that he's done a great job as a businessman. I think he's done a great job for this country. And you can all of you letter writers and haters can, hey, bash away, baby. I could care less, because I can see the facts of the numbers. I can see what's going on. And President Trump has not brought in all this hatred and racism that continues to get published by those on the left. Okay, Joe Biden has signed more bills to do more damage to African Americans, okay, than any other person. Joe Biden has spent 47 years. What has he done for you? What is going to be his magic plan? He's not even cognizant right now. I mean, he has no cognitive ability to speak. I'm very interested to see the debate. Of course, they do try to continue to keep him locked in his basement, because every time he opens his mouth, something bad comes out. But again, forget about my differences with all that. I'm saying to you is vote. Get off your butt, go to the polls, okay, and do your job as an American to design. If you like the direction that we're headed with the Democratic Party, hey, I can't say that you're wrong. I'm never going to disown you. I do believe that people are allowed to express their opinion. I do believe that you're allowed to have a civil conversation with somebody regarding politics. Many don't, and certainly most of the left does not, which is, again, something that you want to talk about hatred and about things that are bad. There's one that couldn't be worse, okay? That the Americans are no longer allowed to voice their opinion in a group of their own friends unless they agree that you have to be on the left side of the aisle. Okay, so you tell me, hey, you're acceptable to that? Great, good for it. Go for you, good for you, and go for it. You'll be sorry, you'll get what you want, but hey, it's all important to get what you want. That's what I think you should do. But of course, I do believe that you should vote. And again, I would not tell you who to vote for. I will tell you who I am. And I don't care who you vote for. I just like to see some numbers at these polls. Okay, that's what I'd like to see. People voting instead of sitting home, eating bonbons and whining like a bunch of babies that what's going on they don't like. You don't like it? Go out and do something about it. Okay, just like the athletes and the BLM movements. Okay, you don't like what's going on? Go do something. Don't just open your mouth and talk crap. Go make a donation. Go work in the neighborhoods that you're so trying to defend right now, and make sure as they destroy Portland and other states. And if you don't think that can continue and go farther, you better think again. Nobody thought we could probably get to where we are today. So again, we can continue to ignore it and close our eyes to everything, or we can finally wake up. That's what that'll be. But in the meantime, okay, we've got what we've got to do, and it's going to happen, and we'll see how it eventually resolves itself. And of course, now that there's a seat open, another Supreme Court justice to be appointed, you can bet on it that not only will there be one found probably this week, but the vote will take place before the election as well. And this is the case. This is where Obama, who couldn't get Merrick Garland, which I do disagree with, just in full disclosure, I thought Garland should have been rubber stamped through. I thought Garland was more of a conservative, but I believe that President Obama knew that he wasn't going to get approved. So he put in a conservative, a middle person who could read the Constitution, knowing that he had no chance to become appointed. And he basically used him as just a piece of bait to get it stuck up as you know what. Okay. And to me, I think that's another American problem and a tragedy, because I do think Merrick Garland did deserve to be on the court. And I don't like the way that was handled, nor am I thrilled with the way this is handled. But based on where we are now, I'm all for it. And I do hope they get it done. I do hope that McConnell gets the votes, because, again, this only takes approval by the Senate and nobody else. So we've got a bunch of other things happening, in the world right now. And, of course, we've still got much of this criminal activity through traders. And, of course, the Deutsche Bank trader and market fixer. And of course, is the COMEX, are they fudging the numbers of delivery on gold, physical deliveries? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on that is not correct. And of course, this is what happens when you allow things to continue to grow and not step in and take care of business. This is what happens when you build a system, as we continue to try to change how it should be actually constructed, and you allow the power to be in the wrong hands that allow these things to happen. But hey, as I said, it will be what it'll be. But, of course, there's many that don't like it, knowing that the President Trump on Saturday received, well, he didn't receive it, but they stopped a letter that was sent to him loaded with ricin, that obviously intent to kill, which is that is not uncommon. It does happen to most presidents, but certainly I'm sure that the current one gets probably a few more than most. But again, this is the country that we're living in, where there is so much hatred on both sides that needs to be stopped. And I think that we are in a position to do that today. We are in a position to do the right thing and stop this wide gap between the parties. But of course, if you're going to continue supporting a socialist agenda, if you're going to continue to support free money and free everything for everybody, that is that used to be one of the big selling points of the Democratic Party to begin with, is create welfare and other free perks for those, keep them in slums, but give enough to make them come out and vote every 4 years. That, again, to me, does not make sense. That does not get people into the real world and let them become successful. It keeps them in a area of just being given just enough to survive. And certainly, I think that is also a much bigger problem overall. But here we are. In the meantime, Happy New Year for those who celebrate. May it be sweet and prosperous and healthy. And we're going to step by here for a break. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday. It is September 20th. And we'll be right back after the break with more of Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, what's up? And here we are as the weather is changing and the markets continue to run. And, we've got some things to talk to you about. Our relationship with family farms. As the grain prices go up, certainly people should be getting, if you didn't believe in hedging before, don't get greedy now and believe you shouldn't be hedging. But we've got a brand new partnership with family farms. Very happy about it and very excited to get it going. And of course, our brokerage partners, we talk about them all the time. And of course, again, full disclosure, I have other brokerage accounts, but the ones I use the most and the ones I like is for commodities and futures is the CTG group. They do a phenomenal job with our letter of direction trading. They do all my trading as well within my futures accounts. They do the execution, they do the entry, they do the exits, they do everything that needs to be done. They do it promptly, on time, at the same time, and they take care of everybody at once. And they have some brand new products coming out, great customer service. You had a problem, you call them, they answer the phone. There's no voicemail jail to go fight with. And of course, for equities and options, Tradier, again, Tradier is by far the best I've ever dealt with, because the number one thing I got to look at is cost. You know, what investors and traders alike forget is the free trading you've been offered is not free, number one. Number two, costs, however they're gotten to, are a part of your overall liquidity. So Tradier is by far superior, including the customer service that they have, because they also answer the phone. So again, I love those two for our people that we recommend. Again, I do have others. And our commodity report, Andy Heck does a phenomenal job. I'm putting together a report now. The good thing about it is, he's a guy who's got direct experience traveling worldwide with all these commodities, not only trading commodities, but physical commodities. He also shares with you the ETFs that correspond to some of the physical commodities, gives you trend direction, gives you fundamentals, gives you technical stuff. Again, for my money, $100 a month, $800 a year, there's nothing like Technomental. It will be going up in price, and there will be a few things to add to it. But if you'd like to check it out, please go to BUBBATrading.com and check out Technomental and our high school program as we continue to try to rebuild and get ready for, really, I would think we're probably targeting for January of 2021, because it doesn't look like to me that all schools will be back in session. But either way, we will continue to build it and have it ready. And, you know, we've been doing it for a number of years, but if you'd like to help us out, go to Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's patreon.com/BubbaTrading. Now, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with your host, me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to go back right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, September the 20th. And of course, I am Todd Bubba Horowitz. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. And what a week for the markets. Wow. Did we peak? Are we breaking up? Are we breaking down? Who the hell knows? That's what we got going right now. It is, as we like to call it in the trade, the torture of consolidation. This is as tough a pattern to be a trader in as there is in the industry. But all markets and all trends are born from that congestion phase. In the meantime, equities down across the board, basically. The Dow was pretty much flat, although the NASDAQ and S&P got hammered. And the Russell was actually up on the week. So as you look at the individual issues, you saw both the Dow and the NASDAQ and the S&P peak on Wednesday into the Fed announcement, the ridiculous announcement by Jerome Powell, again, who could, if one day could even speak English and not try to be two-faced and talk around stuff, we might actually get the real idea. But in the meantime, the three majors peaked, okay, and from late Wednesday, Thursday to Friday, they got hammered. Now, they did stage a late day Friday comeback, but not a rally. In the meantime, the Dow and the S&P closed the week at support. The NASDAQ has broken down. Now, we don't know if this is an official breakdown. This is certainly a temporary. Now, when you break out of this consolidation pattern, we do have false breakouts. This could be just false. We will see as we trade over the next couple of weeks. And of course, the Russell, completely opposite of the NASDAQ, held the top end and is breaking out to the upside. Of course, it has been the weakest index to begin with. And you have to ask yourself, is the bubble ending? And we know it's a bubble. We know it will pop. The only thing is we don't know when. And we're not going to try to predict it. We are short. We remain short and will not change until the signal and the algorithm says it's time to change. The metals, pretty much a flat week, a little gold and silver, a little bit of a slight positive, platinum a slight negative, a lot of action in between, but the metals also reside in the torture chamber known as consolidation. Again, as traders, we are short and will remain short. And just, again, I give you full disclosure so you understand. When I talk about my position, those are my positions now as a trader. I bought more physical gold and physical silver, but I'm still, as a trader, I am short the futures. Okay, the bonds and notes were, again, marginally higher. We'll see what they do. We're still short. That has not changed. Oil, crude did pop last week, and of course we reversed, which pains me to no end. But of course, I'm not going to sit there and get run over by them either. And that's why I specifically follow the rules that are set forth. Okay, I'm not interested in trying to change the rules of the game. I follow the rules because I know if it is wrong, I will turn back to the short position. And so I'll get back to where I want to be shortly, but I'd rather be right than use my opinion. And the dollar, although it feels like it's gone a long place, it has gone nowhere. It's still stuck in the middle of the road. We are still short dollars. It has done nothing to reverse us or to get hugely profitable again. It is just kind of churning in that 92 to 94 range. Excuse me. Well, copper is on like 2-year highs and looking to potentially make an all-time high. I mean, it's interesting, but that's what's going on. Copper continues to run, which, again, it didn't make sense when it kept breaking. It doesn't make sense that it keeps running. But, of course, money is looking for places to go, and wherever that is, we'll eventually find out as it will continue to trade one way or the other. Natural gas had a little bit of a down week. This is a very interesting time of year for natural gas, but we'll see. We're still long it. And again, we're only long because of the algorithm, not because of the time of year. And we are also looking at other things, but you have to look at things that are going on, and you got to wonder, is the market ending? Is it time to lighten up on our stuff? And of course, we don't lighten up, we're hedged, so we don't care. Number one. Number two, how can you predict when it's over? So I think don't get swayed by the geniuses that, say risk on, risk off. They don't know crap. It's the same as always. And of course, in the grains and the ag markets, wow, look at what look at what happened to soybeans. Look what happened to wheat and corn. They're popping big time. And of course, we thought it would. And as you know, we were not long at the beginning, which I wanted to be. But again, that's the point is, I don't argue, but we are popping big time. And I think you're going to see this continue. Now, remember, when they're popping big time, you still have to understand that there should be pullbacks. In fact, you should welcome pullbacks in a bull market. I'm going to give you a little bit of quick advice about trading and understanding the market. In markets that are trending higher, which they are, you buy double bottoms or what they call support. When markets are trending lower, you sell double tops, because those two patterns work best when you're using them with the trend, which is why we don't like to buy double bottoms in a downtrend, because they'd figure to fail. In the meantime, the meats, we're still short cattle, fats and feeders. Both fats and feeders were higher this week. Hogs were a touch lower, but they've had such a huge rally. We would expect a little bit of a pullback. And I think if the meats, if the cattle continues to rally a little bit, we'll probably see a reversal there, which would make me happy. I'd rather at these levels and with what's going on in the markets, because the ag markets happen to be a great spot where money runs when it's trying to chase up and find some yield. And has it been requested that we take a look at a couple of other markets? And of course, we do trade them all. So just a quick coffee. We are short coffee here. Last week was a buy week. We're not short the whole week. We got short after the very big move, still doing quite well with it, but it did get creamed last week. Cotton we are owners in long cotton, and we are going to reverse tomorrow to be long sugar. And we'll cover more if you'd like, but those are just the general idea of what we're doing. In the meantime, again, don't let people convince you, bubble or no bubble. You really should investigate hedging your portfolio. And you have to do it with me. I'm saying to you, as an investor, that learn how to hedge however you can to protect yourself, because your biggest issue in life of trading and investing will be the ability to overcome the next meltdown whenever it comes. We have no idea when it will be here. We just know that it will. And we want you to be protected so that you don't have to be forced to panic and puke. That's always the issue for everyone. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Up Orders. We're going to step out here for a break and be back with my commentary right after the break. We'll be right back. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, of course, kids, we've got family farms, our great partnership. And, as you know, I love to talk to the farming community. I want them to be protected, especially at these prices. But in the meantime, Family Farms is going to be a great partner, and we look to do things together. And our brokerage partners, again, I have other brokerage accounts, but full disclosure, I love to use CTG for my letter of direction trading for my commodities and futures. They do them all. They handle it for me. Out of my 7 futures accounts, they execute on 6. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to get emotional. I don't have to use my opinion, even though I don't have one, and I still somehow find one. In the meantime, they take care of it. I don't think about it. It works out beautiful. All the other members love it as well. They've got great stuff, great service, and great new products coming out. I'm really excited to present for them. And for equities and options, Tradier, we've got their API, and we've already automated a good portion of what we do. And by 2021, we're going to be all automated, and it will only be through Tradier because that's the API we're using. They've got $10 a month. That's the first thing, $10 a month. They're great people over there. They have great customer service. Now, you can use the software. You just won't be able to get the auto execution with anybody but Tradier, but the software is available to anybody who wants to buy it or lease it. And our commodity reports, Andy Hecht, phenomenal job. He's a smart guy that's done it, that understands it on the views from a trader and investor. So, and these things are things that I always believe in are important because, typically I only talk about things that I believe that will help you. So let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary right here on Bubba's Bottom Line on September the 20th. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And, of course, every week I give you a couple of minutes on kind of what I'm thinking. And, look, I don't know. I'm very distraught with this whole protesting, athletes, the overall views of everybody, because unfortunately, I believe most of it is being driven by a political agenda. And to me, it's phony. It's not real. And I don't like it. Look, I always say to you, vote for who you want. Don't try to convince me that I should be different. I like who I like, you like you like. It's all good. But again, you watch these guys talk, but what do they actually do to help their communities? What do they actually do out on the street as far as, bringing in money, teaching, educating? They don't do anything. They just talk. And it's a sad state of affairs when you are now having, athletes trying to, control an election, which they're not going to control. People are not stupid. Even if you think they are not stupid. They're going to figure out a way, and they're going to try to do what is best for them. And I believe you're going to see a pretty dramatic shift in some voting blocks that usually go one way, that will be going the other way this time. But it does not help the case when you have a bunch of spoiled athletes that are making hundreds of millions of dollars that are whining without helping. And I think that would be, a lot would go to their case of all the special messages they wear on their uniforms or helmets, to everything else they do. If they actually went out into the communities and spent some time in the centers, in helping rebuild it, in helping fund it, and do the right thing. But of course, until they do, it'll be just the usual mouthing off crap. That is why you are seeing ratings drop across the board in sports. But that's the problem, because people that are watching sports are not looking to play politics. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bowers, I thank you for being here. Of course, we've got Sunday Night Football tonight, and we've got a good start to the season, 2-0. Well, I think we're going to go 3-0 tonight, and we like the New England Patriots. Cam Newton comes back as a player, had a couple of good weeks, and of course, you've got playing as the Seattle Seahawks without the 12th man fans, getting about 4 points. We like the Patriots. Not only do we like them on the spread, but we like them on the money line as well. So we're going to play them two ways tonight and go for it. And to all of you, Happy New Year to those who celebrate. And to everybody else, have a great weekend. I appreciate you always being here. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Bottom Line and on to the elections and 44 days. And have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you.